The nation of Japan is made up of 4 islands, and after centuries of development and changes, it has become the nation it is today. Focused on the ideals of respect and tradition, Japan is a culture of mindfulness. While Japan relies heavily on traditions, it also has access to some of the world's most modern technology. Japan is a nation of contrast, hosting modern technology and traditional belief. Japan is a nation that has found a way to respect both. But how does Japan remain so traditional while having all the temptations of modern technology? In pre-modern Japan, the shogun was the supreme military leader, awarded the title by the emperor, and by tradition, a descendant of the promiscuous Minamoto clan. From 1603 through 1869, Japan was ruled by a series of shoguns known as the Tokugawa shogunate. The Nijo Castle was built in 1603 as Kyoto's residence of the first shogun in the Edo period. His grandson completed the castle 23 years later and further expanded. The entire castle grounds are surrounded by a stone wall and moat. They can be divided into 3 areas: the main circle of defense.
The castle in Edo. Edo is Tokyo. Those guard samurai warriors are dispatched from Tokyo, and 50 samurai warriors dispatched from Tokyo and stayed here for 1 year.
The second circle of defense, and some gardens that are in the inner circle. After the fall of the Tokugawa shogunate in 1867, the Nijo Castle was used as an imperial palace for a while, and then later was donated to the city of Kyoto as a public historical site. In 1994, the castle was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Another important landmark in the area is Himeji Castle. The castle lies at a strategic point along the western approach to the former capital city of Kyoto. The first fortifications built on site were completed in the 1400s and were gradually enlarged over the centuries as various clans ruled over the region. The castle complex, as it survives today, is over 400 years old and was completed in 1609. The labyrinth-like approach from Ishii Gate to the main keep leads along a walled path and through multiple gates and bales, with the purpose to slow down and expose attacking forces. At the heart of the complex stands the main keep, a 6-story wooden structure. As one enters the main keep through an entrance on the lower floor of the building, they will climb upward via a series of steps on a narrow staircase. The floors are generally unfurnished and displayed with just a few multilingual signs explaining the architectural features, such as portholes and concealed spaces for weapons. On the topmost floor is a small shrine and lets visitors peer out in all directions over the castle's roofs at the maze-like defenses below and across Himeji City. These castles have lasted centuries through the different changes throughout Japan, but they are the only things that have made it this far. Another ancient and important aspect of Japanese culture is their religious values. Japan focuses on 2 main religions, Shintoism and Buddhism. These 2 religions have melded together throughout the centuries and have remained important in Japanese culture.
In Japan, there are 86 million people of Buddhism believers. So, in Japan, Buddhism might be the largest religion in Japan, but no. In Japan, the largest religion is Shinto. Shintoism is the largest religion in Japan. The number of believers is 97 million people. Okay, 97 million people are the believers of Shinto. And Shintoism was indigenous religion. So it was established in Japan in the 6th century before Christ. Shinto deities. Please be careful. Shintoism very close, similar to Greek religion. The number of deities in Shintoism around 8 million. 8 million deities. But you cannot see, you cannot observe. Greek religion, the number of deities around 1,000. But you can see, observe the Greek deities. But in Japan, you can see the deities. Always they are checking you. If you told a lie, the deity knows you told a lie. The deity will punish. That's why Japanese people don't like to tell a lie. Okay, so it is said that Shintoism is like animism. Animism means that everything is a deity. Okay, like dog or bus. Kanamori-san might be a deity, driver might be a deity, or in the toilet and in the dining room, there are a lot of deities. They are flying here. And 86 million people are believers of Buddhism. Buddhism came to Japan in the 6th century. And so when Buddhism came to Japan, already people believe Shintoism. December 31st, the day of the year end, we go to year end, this temple. Next day, January the 1st, we go to Shinto Shrine. We always go to Shinto Shrine at the beginning of everything, like beginning of new fiscal year or new something, starting new business. We use Shinto, and we use Buddhist temple for the end, like funeral, especially funeral. We cannot have funerals in Shinto shrine. Because Shinto deities like purified place, and funeral is regarded that there's a dead body.
Japan hasn't always been at peace. In World War II, the United States dropped the atomic bomb on Japan.
So just at the best height to destroy the largest area. Actually, the best target was not Hiroshima, Kyoto. Kyoto was much larger, very flat, and surrounded with mountains. That American soldiers, military cannot allow us to drop that fire bomb on Kyoto. And not only on Kyoto, but on the palace in Kyoto. There, emperor, the American leader thinking also how to control the Japanese people very peacefully without raising an anti-American people. Hiroshima was the 7th largest city. Hiroshima was not suitable for using fireball. In this great area, 4 kilometers in diameter, was completely destroyed and later burned. No one can imagine what is going on. And so they tell you what happened before and after the bomb. Right? Because a nuclear fission, strong radiation was emitted for a very short time. Okay? Soon after that, the big fireball appeared, 400 meters in diameter, just above. The temperature of the ground around here was 3,000 or 4,000 degrees Celsius. Do you know, iron melt at 1,500. The temperature here was much more higher. But English Wikipedia's explanation about this heat race is false. Even now it says the human bodies under this fireball evaporated or melted down. That is not true. It never happened. Too short time, 1.4 seconds. Only the skin, right, which were exposed to heat waves, were covered. Never evaporate. Chocolate destroyed all those houses intensely. After that heavy air moved away, this area became a vacuum, like a vacuum. Air pressure lowered almost zero around here. All the air which went away came back here. That's what happened before and after the explosion. Only less than 1 kilogram of uranium exploded out of 50 kilograms loaded in the little bomb. Einstein's formula says this small amount of uranium is enough to destroy the common size of the city. All the world scientists wanted to test, to know that the Einstein formula is true or not. A small amount of radiation was emitted from this source. That process with radiation went up and down, spread all over the world. And the tragedy and the lucky thing happened 42 days after the bomb. Hiroshima was hit by one of the most powerful typhoons, and it killed 2,000 people. Just for 42 days after the bomb, Hiroshima was like a sea, so big. After all the water on this ground went into the sea, almost no harmful radiation was detected.
But even after all these years, Japanese culture has found a way to move past this horrible tragedy and continue a relationship with the US. As centuries have gone on, Japan has remained focused on their traditional aspect, but have looked towards modern technology for entertainment and practicality in the new modern world. The original bullet train was the Japanese Zero Series Shinkansen. The nickname originated when the concept was first proposed in the 1930s, and when the high-speed train began to operate in 1964, it kind of resembled a bullet, so the name stuck. The fact that it could do 130 miles per hour didn't hurt either. Now, the Japanese bullet train can move at 180 miles per hour and is a very common part of traveling throughout Japan. Tokyo's neon lights are something to see. The modern city is covered in asphalt and bright neon lights. They are so bright that the city doesn't sleep at all. The lights of Tokyo are so bright that you can see them from outer space. The brightly colored advertisements plaster the vertical walls of almost every building on the streets. In itself, it's become a sightseeing spot all of their own. You can see the neon lights close and from far all around the city of Tokyo. The Japanese people value loyalty and beliefs, and one can see that clearly whenever you visit one of their temples or their cities. One way it's exemplified is in the story of Hachiko. Hachiko, also known as Hachi, was a dog known for his infinite love of his owner. His owner was a university professor, and every afternoon, Hachi waited at Shibuya Station until his owner returned. One day, his owner passed away, and even after that, Hachi went to the station every single day, waiting for his owner to return. The story of Hachiko is valued in Japanese culture for showing faithfulness and loyalty. The Japanese people value these beliefs all throughout the country, to be loyal and faithful. Throughout the time in Japan, I had learned a lot about their culture. The way they combine the two religions of Buddhism and Shintoism, the respect that they have for each other, and how much they value faith and loyalty. At the end of the day, it could be a number of things, or just one thing that causes the Japanese people to be so mindful. All of these factors combined, Japan is a country of mindfulness, full of contrasts between traditional and modern ways. At the end of the day, Japan has found a way to be a mindful culture.